Hey everyone, I'm Daniel. I'm joined by Superfang99, and we've got the first half, or whatever the number is, of the specialist cards to show you. And these are going to be, there's a lot here, right? There's a lot to talk about because they are a complicated set. They are neutral cards. They are neutral cards that are restricted by which traits are on your investigator card. So investigators that have, for example, we'll look at one of these, this one here, Dreams of the Clay. Artist, clairvoyant, dreamer, performer, deck only means that the only way you can put in your deck is if you are an investigator with one of those traits. And man, that's a lot of investigators and a lot of things to go through. So I'm going to do my best to show you on the screen, and I'll read out loud which investigators can take them. Be extra clicking here, but bear with me as I do that. Are you looking forward to this set?
Okay, so maybe this is the hottest take that I've had for all of these videos. I don't like the specialist cards. Not because I think they're not good, but I can't at a glance guess at all who these cards are for. The only way I can tell who these cards are for is by looking them up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really annoying. Other than that, I think it's interesting, like flavor wise, where they have these traits and they're like, yes, we could probably start using them now. Have these cards that are thematically appropriate for these investigators. I wish there was like a way that they did this that didn't involve you have to kind of look them up because no one knows the traits of these investigators. Like maybe I remember performer, right? Because it's like, oh, if you sing, like you're Jim Culver, you're a musician, I
Yeah.
get that.
Mm-hmm.
But like some people that I'm like, did you like? I don't know.
What's a
I think it's
Wayfarer
kind of weird.
anyway? Like, I don't remember
Yeah,
those.
I don't know either.
Yeah, and then
Um,
some people are believers but not blessed or something. I don't know. That part is a bit strange.
yeah.
So I agree with that. Most people, when talking about these specialist cards, are focusing a bit on the power level as well. And I mean, this is our first look, right? So our early looks at these cards, so it's hard to get a good handle on them. They do feel, and we're going to sort of answer this question as we go along. Do they feel like uh, neutral cards? Do they feel like they make your investigator, who is that trait, feel special about being able to do something that the other investigators of their same regular class can't do? I don't know. There's nothing in
I don't know.
the rules or the description of specialist cards from FFG that says what their philosophy was in designing these. So here they are, and we'll sort of maybe suss this out and have some thoughts. So
Yep.
we're gonna start with the two skills. And the first one is Dreams of the Clay. Again, those four traits I'm not going to be able to remember. So hang on. I'm going to get the Arkham cards and we'll click and see what the answer is. It's down here. Okay, we have Gloria Goldberg, Jacqueline Fine, Jim Culver, the parallel version, Lola Hayes, Lucius Galloway, Luke Robinson, Marie Lambeau, Patrice Hathaway, and Safina Rousseau.
So
Okay,
basically, Mystic.
Mystic plus off-class Mystic and
Lucius.
then Lucius.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Well, I mean, look at the card itself. I gotta go back over here and show it to you. Yeah, this is the treachery cancellation one. So commit only to a skill test on a treachery. If the skill test is successful, put Dreams of the Clay into play in your play area, such as discarding it. When you draw a non-peril treachery from the encounter deck, remove this from the game, cancel its revelation effect, and discard it. So it can be a totally different treachery. It's just commit this to a treachery, pass the test, cancel some other treachery down the line.
I'm sad that Diana Strait isn't on this, but
Yeah, no Silver Twilight
yeah.
or Cultist.
And
Yeah.
also, just to clarify, when these specialist cards say these traits deck only, that overrides any investigator deck building that says that they're allowed to take the cards from from the cards traits. By the way,
Yeah,
so for
Silas.
example,
No
Silas cannot take
Silas.
this.
Yeah. However,
Yeah.
it doesn't override your ability to play the card. This is not a what are they? The signature cards, right? That you cannot
Oh,
control a
right. That
signature
make
card.
it doesn't really.
Yeah. So like
All
for
right.
example, if
Well, I'll
you
have to.
yeah, so you
Yeah.
can control this or commit it, for example, from someone other
Okay.
location. So if you have copycat
Yeah.
and you have another investigator who has this card in their discard pile, you can indeed
Aren't
commit
these
it.
technically worded in the exact same way when they say something something deck only?
But they're not signature cards. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's a deck building restriction, not a restriction on using them.
You should just allow that for signature cards anyway.
Yeah,
'Cause it
probably.
doesn't- Anyway. Um. Okay, so I'm just talking about the card. Actually, I mean, I think it's pretty good. Like getting a canceled non-peril treachery is really good. It is a reaction, so it's not forced. So you can kind of just do whatever you want. It's kind of like a preemptive ward protection kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's pretty good. You have to pass, obviously, but it is like that's not a big hurdle. I think. I think it's pretty good.
So it reminds me of Fool Me Once. That's another
Yep.
similar effect.
Yep.
There's one thing I don't like about this card. Why does it remove itself from the game?
Oh yeah, they didn't want you to be able to do it again. I guess.
Why not? I can do that with Ward of Protection.
Right. That's true.
Like, isn't this just sort of a, I don't want to say worse Ward of Protection because that makes you take a horror and pay a resource, but it's got a different cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's
Yeah.
good. It's just like, why is this, you know, why is this not, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like honestly, I don't think I'm too upset about it. I think it's fair. And yeah.
All right. I just want to be Patrice and go through my deck a few times and keep using
True.
this.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Inquisitive. This one is Assistant, Miskatonic, and Scholar deck only. And again, have that in your mind as I go back and click on the thing over here.
This has a lot of investigators.
Oh, no. Okay. The two Agathas, of course, Amanda Sharp, Carson Sinclair, Daisy Walker, other Daisy Walker, Hank Sampson, Harvey Walters, Kate Winthrop, Koaku Narakami, Lucius Galloway, Mandy Thompson, Minty Fan, Norman Withers, Rita Young. So a lot of seekers here, but also a few
Yes.
smattering of like Hank is here.
Right. Rita because she's from Miskatonic University.
Right. Right. Okay.
Which makes sense, I guess.
All right. Back to the card. This is the one that okay. So if the skill test is successful, the performing investigator may succeed by up to 2 more or down to 2 less to a minimum of 0. So it's for your succeed by exactly stuff in Seeker mostly.
Yes. Slash, or I guess, well, I was about to say slash rogue stuff, but I guess not many rogues can take this.
No, just Lucius.
Yeah, Lucius off class rogue. I mean, obviously, I think this is very good for the succeed by X. I think the tricky thing about succeed by exactly X that's going to be tricky is like how much supports do you want to the enabling you to succeed by exactly something? Because we have a couple cards that are already like we have steady handed, and we have that other secret one that I can't remember is the artistic inspiration, right?
Yep.
You can modify there. But at least this one is like it's fairly flexible. You just have to succeed, and then you can modify it up and down pretty much as you want. I mean, it's good in that archetype. I don't know if it's necessarily better other places, but otherwise it's good.
Right. So the problem with this card to me is why is this a neutral card? A specialist card even, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the Seeker cards that you just mentioned are better at this than this is because this is a skill. It happens only once. So like how badly do you want to succeed by exactly once?
Yeah.
And it might as well, like if there's a neutral tax on these cards, it might as well just be a Seeker card and just be a little bit better. But I'd rather, I feel like I'm more of a specialist in doing this thing if I have steady handed in my deck.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I think that, the benefit of this is that it has the depth because all of those other cards do only do +1 or -1, right? This can go +2, -2. And so for example, I think that specifically for cards like Antikythera, where you're like, it has a huge range between like 1 to 5. This can basically hit that entire range. And so you can really pinpoint the thing you want to get off of it. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's true. Or you can have both steady-handed and artistic inspiration in your deck, and you get it too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And that's why I was thinking, like, how much do you want to support the specifically choosing which number as opposed to the payoffs or just getting a number and just maybe hitting it randomly, right?
Again, and honestly, like having played with that card and rarely using the steady-handed in the deck, I didn't really care. It was like,
right.
So the problem with that is that those are like 1 or 3 or 2 or 4. So like the range of 2 only matters if you want to get up to 5, which is
Yeah,
the
that's
extra
true.
action.
Yeah,
And is the one card here worth the extra action? What might have happened anyway? I don't know.
good point.
Like, do people play Swift Reflexes, right? Like, that's an extra action for your card.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a good point.
Again, I don't think the card is bad. It's just, to me, it feels like if it's a specialist card, it better do something that's like more than. I mean, again, look at the list of investigators. They're just all seekers. Like, Rita doesn't want this.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe she does. She wants to like succeed by exactly or try to succeed by 2 or something on the rogue tricks or something. But
Yeah, yeah,
eh, eh.
yeah,
And Norman doesn't even. I mean, what chemistry set? That's it.
yeah. I guess so. Yeah, there's not a lot of mystic sources for that.
Carson can use it for katana.
Oh, true. Okay, that's some tech right there.
There we
He's
go.
very inquisitive about slicing you up.
All right, let's move on. Okay, so now I got some assets. Um, this is Bound for the Horizon. It is a Drifter, Hunter, Wayfarer deck only.
More.
Yep. Okay, where are we? Bound for the Horizon. There we go. Okay, so we've got Ashcan P. Oh, there's too many. This is just
Yeah,
okay.
too
Ashcan
many.
P. The two of them, Alessandra, Calvin, George, Jenny, other Jenny, Leo Anderson, Luke Robinson, Marion, Michael McGlenn, Monterey Jack, Parallel Monterey Jack, Silas, Tony, Ursula, Wendy, Wilson, and then 2 Zoes.
I
It's
guess it's mostly just because they're parallels, right?
yeah,
That's
man,
fair.
yeah. Still, it's hard to keep track of this. So these are just investigators who want to move, I guess, and that's what this card does.
True.
Hey, we have another card for George for the whole discarding
That
stuff
is
from your
true.
hand archetype. That's good.
Yeah.
Move to a connecting location.
So how would you like every card in your hand to be a shortcut
Yeah.
for only yourself?
I mean, yes, I
It's not
would.
bad.
I think this
Yeah.
one's good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I really like it for a lot of the fighters that are hunters or like wayfarers because they can have free moves to get enemies. That always seems good. And obviously, I mean, the moves are really good for like the cloovers as well. Like Ursula would love this. Monterey loves this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Luke is honestly weird. Maybe Luke doesn't even need this, right?
Well, and
Um,
before you say, isn't Pathfinder just better? Stop that.
true, true. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think it's good. I think 2 XP is like it's not rough, but it's like it's fairly costed. If this was any less, it'd be like, okay, that's really good.
Yeah, like Pathfinder.
Yeah.
This card I wish was like had a Yithian on it because this is the ability on all of the locations in the City of Archives.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's a move action, which I guess is bad for Frozen of Fear or something, but uh, I kind of wish that Pathfinder said that too. All right, let's move on to Forbidden Sutra, and I need to bring that one up. We've got several. What do we got? Blessed, Cursed, and Sorcerer deck only.
Yes. Yep. This one seems not that bad.
Not as bad.
Not as bad.
Okay, we've got Agnes. This is like a lot of mystics. Agnes,
Yep.
Akachi, Amina, Calvin, Dexter Drake, Jim. Only Parallel Jim because he's the cursed one.
Wait,
And
that's weird.
yeah, Kohaku, Marie, Patrice, Parallel Rex because again he's the cursed one. Sister Mary and Parallel Wendy, again being cursed. Okay.
That's honestly interesting that even happened. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So why is this even like blessed or cursed anyway? So you get +1 skill value while resolving spell events. By the way, this takes up a hand slot. Reaction, which shouldn't be a reaction, but there it is anyway. During a skill
Oh
test
yeah.
on a spell event, take up to 3 horror. For each horror taken, reveal an additional chaos token for this test. Choose one of the revealed tokens to resolve and ignore the rest. So it's a grotesque statue, but worse, but maybe
Is
better if
this
you're
like
token fishing, I guess.
this is like supposed to be before you draw tokens, right? That's the intended
It's got to
behavior.
be, yeah.
Okay, so it would be like a free triggered ability.
Yeah, it should be.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Um. Take up to
Or
oh
after a
well
skill test begins or something. That would be
right
okay.
or yeah if it was a free trigger they'd have to say limit one once per skill test because
Yeah.
otherwise you could take a bajillion horror. Yeah, interesting. Okay, the result is just so okay so it's Jacqueline Fine. What?
Mm-hmm. It's Jacqueline
Okay.
Fine's ability, but you have to take a bunch of horror for it.
Yeah.
So it's 2
Yeah.
horror for Jacqueline, right?
Correct.
For Jacqueline's ability.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's also only during spell events.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, I didn't even realize that. Okay.
Um,
3 horror.
I think this is awful, personally.
I'm I'm like trying to find a reason to disagree with you, but I can't. I mean, so okay, so the one investigator on this list that really does care about spell events is obviously Agnes Baker, Parallel Agnes.
Yep.
Can she afford to take horror to ensure that she doesn't draw auto fails during some fight spells?
No, because
Maybe. Well,
she has less sanity than regular Agnes.
that's true. What I meant to say is, I think she could afford it if this wasn't an asset that was also a 2 XP asset. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I guess no. Yeah,
Yeah. So, okay, look. The horror part is potentially interesting for regular Agnes.
yep,
And, if this didn't take up a hand slot, or maybe regular Jim could take it or something, like maybe there's something interesting there with the trumpet.
yeah, yeah. That's
And
true.
there's more spell events than there used to be. It's not all just Spectral
Yeah.
Razor and Read the Signs.
Is there any reason Parallel Agnes wouldn't just take this and never resolve the reaction ability? Is that good enough? Maybe not.
No, you probably. I mean, wouldn't you rather just take
Yeah,
Grounded or something?
yeah. You're right.
Hmm. Um. Okay, so like, okay, there's something here, but it seems way undertuned for maybe it was different in playtesting or something, and they had to tweak it a bit. Uh, but even look at the people on the list, right? Who among these actually wants to play spell events? So maybe there's Agnes, and I feel like they shouldn't be designing around parallel investigators that much. But
That's fair.
Akachi doesn't care about events.
Yep.
Amina, maybe. Calvin, I don't think there are very many spell events you can even play.
Nope.
There's Blood Eclipse, and that's about it.
Yep.
Dexter also doesn't really want events.
Yeah. More about assets.
Jim, Parallel Jim is parallel. Kohaku is the one that they've tried to push the events with, right? Because they also had
Yes.
the something weaving, spiritual weaving, spectral weaving. The one that was the double event that no one really liked in the last set.
Yes. There. Yeah, and that also came with the. Was I always call it Drain Life. Is it actually called Drain Life or
Drain Essence. Yeah.
Drain Essence? That's right.
That
Yeah.
that's okay, except for that is like already trying to heal you, so why are you
Yeah, that's
taking
true.
more damage for it? Horror though, of course.
Yeah.
Marie is a reasonable idea. She does her extra action could be for events.
Oh, that is true.
It's like maybe okay. Um, but like the reason why I'm annoyed with the no regular Jim thing is that Jim is the one that actually wants to do token fishing. None of the rest of these guys care about token fishing unless you're trying to recur the level 2 events. So
Yeah.
is it just for passing a test? Like that's not Jacqueline's shtick, right? Like you play her to pass tests that are important, but you're also playing her to draw particular tokens because you get to do this every round. Eh. All right. Who else? Patrice. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Patrice does like events, but I feel like, well, I think the spell events could work with her. It's just the issue is getting this down and being able to play it is just the issue. Right?
Mm-hmm. And then Rex, I don't think he can play any spell events unless they're cursed.
No.
And Sister Mary, probably
Better thing to
not
do with her
interested either. Yeah.
hands. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I don't know what happened here. Like this seems like it should have been a card for Jim, and then it just like isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Walter Fitzpatrick, Civic Twilight and Socialite deck only, and this one's I think a shorter list from what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alessandra, Charlie Kane, Diana Stanley, George Barnaby, Parallel Jenny because she's a Socialite, Preston, and Stella. That's a weird bunch. Actually, this is the first one. Let's look at the card. Where it's not just like one class.
Right.
The other ones so far feel like aren't these just like mystic cards or whatever else?
Yeah.
But it makes sense. Like Civic here covers Charlie Kane and Stella, I think, and Solar Twilight is Diana. Socialite is maybe also Charlie Kane, but that's Alessandra for sure. Anyway, the card itself is an ally, level 2, 3 cost. You get +1 skill value while parlaying. Reaction after you successfully parlay, exhaust Walter Fitzpatrick, gain 1 resource. Where have we seen this before? What's his name?
Uh,
Uh, Lawrence Carlisle.
it's yes. I don't know why. I just sorry. Who are we talking about?
The after you do something, then you get a resource for free, an ally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Correct. Yeah.
course
Yes.
said Dr. Malak. Okay, so
Yes.
would you pay 2 XP for this effect?
If I'm parlaying with things, yes.
Yeah, so who's doing that other than Alessandra on this list?
Alessandra. Good question.
You want to do this like every round, or not every round, but every other round, maybe at minimum.
Yeah, I mean, this could also be a tech card if you're in a scenario that does a lot of this.
For 2 XP?
Well, I don't know.
I don't
put
know.
on.
If there was like an adaptable that pulled in level 2 cards or something, then maybe, but
I guess that's fair. I mean, it is nice that it's +1 skill value while parlaying, so it's like all skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one skill. I mean, yeah, like I'm not saying it's amazing.
I think it's great. It's a great card
yeah.
in Alessandra, but
yeah,
what does your deck look like if you're Stella Clark and you want to play this?
right? No, I don't think so.
Preston, like, okay, maybe I can see something because there's a lot of rogue cards, but I think a lot of them, well, not a lot of them, but some of them are certainly illicit. Yeah. And I don't know if he cares about +1. Maybe I could, there's an interesting deck there, perhaps.
Yeah.
I just don't know about the others. It seems weird.
Sorry, off topic. The Forbidden Sutra can't be taken by anyone in this box. Is that correct?
Bless, Curse, Sorcerer. If Agatha's not a sorcerer, I don't think she is, then
yeah.
Then yeah.
She's Mystic Tonic and Scholar.
Yeah.
Oops. Well. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. I mean, this one can be taken by George, but again, like, why?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, couldn't this have just been a rogue card?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably, yeah. Like, that's where all the parlay skills are at, basically, at this point. Are there other parlay events in Seeker? There are, right?
There's a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple there.
There's a Persuasion, there's Confound.
Yeah.
Diana, like, maybe you could do a Diana deck that has Power Word, right? Because that has a skill test now with the Taboo.
That's true.
So, well, there's something, but
yeah,
how much do you need to do this, right, for this card to be worth a slot and 2 XP in your deck?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why maybe this is like not more, but it can be more useful as a tech card.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing parlay stuff in the scenarios.
Yeah, go play Midwinter Gala. You'll be
right?
happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay. And Charlie, I think you could make a case for Charlie with this.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, we've got a really cool card because it's cost a lot. I'm going to move over here so you can see it. Name your price. Criminal, Socialite only. So we just saw some of those cards, but let's just make sure we got that right. This is...
It's mostly rogue.
Yeah, we got Skids. We have Alessandra, Charlie, Finn, Jenny, Kaimani, Michael McGlenn, Nathaniel Cho. Yeah, he's a criminal.
Yeah.
Preston, Tony, Winifred.
He'll deal 11 damage.
Yeah, let's look at the card. It is a parlay, but not a successful parlay. This is just a parlay. No. So sorry, you won't get your money back. Deal 10 damage to an enemy at your location. 5 instead if that enemy is elite. Remove name your price from this game. 20 resources for the privilege.
So I'll be honest. I saw this and I was like, this is hilarious. Like, this is the highest cost thing. I honestly thought it would somehow reduce itself, but it doesn't.
Nope.
It actually just is 20 resources. I mean, I don't think 20. So, okay, here's the thing, right? Like, obviously the big money decks, they can get to 20 / even like 30 and 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if this is the last card they play in the scenario,
yeah,
good on them.
Yep.
So I think that is really the only use case for this, because there's no way anyone else is getting to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You get the relentless in play with Nathaniel Cho, and then
yeah,
yeah. So here's the problem with this card. So the card that costs like two, but then a small favor, right? Two, and then you
yep,
increase its cost by two to get it. So that's 4 damage. Sorry, 4 resources for 2 damage. Um, so if you want 10 damage, then you multiply that by 5.
yeah. There you go.
It's exactly the same as this card.
Yeah. Yes. But it takes 1 action instead of 5 actions.
Exactly. Your double on this is even better. No,
Yeah.
that doesn't work because it removes from the game. But anyway,
Yeah.
the difference is that card I think is not great, but also playable because you don't actually want 10 damage to a single enemy.
Right.
What was the last non-elite enemy that you've seen that had more than 6 health?
Uh, I bet you I could think of something, but I can't at the moment.
There's one in the blob that ate everything. 7 health.
Okay. Oh no.
And maybe there's more out there, but
yeah, that's right.
like, what's going on here? Why do you need to do 10 damage to a single enemy? Like, what a waste, right? Is it actually for the 5 damage if it's the enemy's elite? Like, that seems...
No, I mean, I think it's just it is ensuring that you can kill it, right? Like, I like, in my mind, they're like, no matter what, if we design a non-elite enemy, it will never go to 10. So just make it 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So then the question is if 20 resources for 5 damage, is that worth it, right?
Right, for the elite enemy.
Because that's what you will.
Oh, for the non-elite enemy even. No, I mean, here's what I want to say. I would rather see this card, and I think even with 20 resources and it being only in a few decks, it should say deal up to 10 damage to enemies, plural, at your location.
Okay, that would be a lot better.
It would be
for sure.
a lot better. I would pay 20 resources for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, like, I mean, it still hits the nothing will be more than 10, right?
you're you're playing Scarlet Keys, and your rogue just plays this card to deal with 1 decoy.
It's okay.
I got them, guys.
It's an elite decoy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a funny card. I love the
It's
art, and it costs 20 resources. It's just really amusing. But like, what was the playtesting scenario that they were like, yeah, let's play this?
They gotta bump the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Paramount, he could probably play it.
Yeah, he could. He's a socialite. Yeah, that's probably why he's on
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. It needs to be a little bit better. Like, again, these specialist cards to me feel like they need to be even better for the limited number of people who could take them. Because otherwise, it feels like it's like worse than an in-class card. But it has restricted. It's more restrictive than the classes themselves.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to one that I think is pretty good. True Awakening. This one has 3 different traits. Bust, Chosen, Drifter. Let's go over and get those.
There's a lot of these.
Oh, yeah, there are. Okay, so we got Ashcan Pete's again, Alessandra, Amina, Calvin, George, Jenny, Kohaku, Lily Chen, Luke, Marion, Silas, Sister Mary, Stella, Wendy, Wilson. It's a lot. So this one is a pretty good diversity of investigators and classes. So that's already, I like it. Now, do they have anything in common? Like, is there some thematic link between all these investigators? Absolutely not. I don't think so. I mean, there's this idea, like Blessed and Chosen, I can kind of see, but then you throw George in there, and you're like, sure.
he's the chosen one, even though he's just a drifter. He's
the chosen drifter. So choose and resolve 2 of the following in any order. Draw 2 cards. Discover 1 clue at your location. You'll probably do those 2, but if you need to, heal 1 damage and heal 1 horror are reasonable options as well. I assume that you're supposed to choose 2 different things, but
I assume so as well.
Yeah. I think this is pretty cool. Like, even just baseline 0 cost, draw 2, discover a clue. That seems good.
That seems really good. Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of, like as you said, a lot of flexibility. I think that the fact that it costs 0, like obviously it's 2 XP, but this can honestly get away with just being card economy as well,
Mm-hmm.
because it always has the draw 2. Um, like we pay 2 XP to put draw card on cards anyway,
Yeah.
so you could just play it. Like if you have any event that event that just either draws cards or gets clues, then you can just replace it with this, and it's like probably good enough. Like if you play Burning the Midnight Oil, or I guess not a lot of these classes can do that. But like I think that this can be a great flex card, because a lot of these investigators are kind of flexy.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ashcan P, we have Jenny, we have Stella, Wendy as well,
Calvin.
and Calvin, yeah. And so like this can it doesn't deal damage, but like there's places where you need to just get clues, so this can just act as that. It's really flexible, I think, because like having those choices, I think, is just really good. So, and this can solve the edge of the earth weaknesses as well.
Yeah, that's true. For XP,
There you go.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and also actually, I think the good thing about it is that if you ever do get them, if you never draw the weakness, this can just be draw 2 and discover clue. It isn't always healing, so
Right.
that's
Right.
good.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Call for Backup in that way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think this is maybe better than that card, just because this always does all the things it says. It doesn't require you to have other things in play first.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, it's a spirit, so your Sister Mary deck could draw this off of boxing gloves.
There you go.
As a side note, by the way, when you mentioned Burning Midnight Oil, do you think we'll ever get like a version that draws cards instead of getting resources? Like
Oh,
how good would that be? Like would that be like 1 or 2 XP to be like draw 1 card or something when you begin the
huh.
investigation or something?
Yeah. I mean, like, so, I think that oh god, that's a good question, because it's still a card you have to play, and then it just cycles itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see that as being just level 0, if I'm honest. If it'd be like draw a card, investigate, or draw a card, fight, if there's
Mm-hmm.
an equivalent for that.
Okay, how about
I
draw
mean,
2?
okay, draw 2 is a lot better.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That might be 2 XP. Like that's your
Yeah,
perception, but without the bonus, right?
exactly. Yeah. At least you still investigate. It's not like you're discovering immediately.
And it's not, but it's a free 2 cards, right? So a perception requires you to succeed.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're judging it based on this card, right? Because this card is draw to get a clue instead of draw to investigate.
Yeah, but
So
I kind of like that because it's a specialist card. It should be a little bit better above the curve.
interesting.
Yeah, but you're right. That's why I was thinking about that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it does feel like this is automatically succeed, like working a hunch plus
Yeah.
draw 2, but no
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. All right, let's move on to another skill card that you can't see. I need to move over. Double Down, criminal entrepreneur and socialite. 3 things that have lots of stuff in common, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one is down here. We've got Skids, Alessandra, Bob's an entrepreneur, Charlie, Daniela, Finn, Jenny, Kaimani, Marion, Michael, Nathaniel again, Preston, Tony, Winifred. Okay, what does this card do again? Yeah, it's the money one. So you get a wild icon. It's 2 XP, max 1 committed per skill test. After you commit, double down to a skill test, spend up to 3 resources for each resource spent. Double down gains 2 wilds. I think this is pretty good.
Yep. Like obviously there's the what's his face? What's his name again? The ally that you can bet on stuff.
Gregory Gry.
Gregory Gry, yeah. So this can pay for Gregory Gry in order to succeed by the amount that he needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like always bet 3, always spend 3. You're getting +4 basically. That's busted. But obviously this is an additional card and it's level 2. So that's the big deal there. I do think that for most of these investigators, they are willing to spend 3 resources in order to get a auto fail only test.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like you're playing Money Talks, effectively, right? I mean, yeah, I think it's good.
I think
In
this
those
is
specific decks.
it's even just like imagine you had higher education, right?
True. Correct. Yes.
Because
That is true.
it's plus. I mean, you already get one, but
Yeah.
you spend one for plus
3.
two,
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good.
and you can do that three
Yeah.
times. So, I mean, it's better than higher ed since that one has stipulations and it's only 2 skills. Of
Yeah.
course, it's a
And it's permanent. Like this goes away.
yeah, of course, yeah. That
Yeah.
but as far as the effect goes, right? Like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is has a more of an upside. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be a rogue card, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately this could have just been a rogue card, but I think it's good, so.
Mm-hmm. I would play this in most
Yeah.
of those investigators if I,
Mm.
wanted to protect against the Mythos phase, especially, right? Like Winifred, really good.
Yeah, really good.
Skids, I can see for sure. Bob, I think, likes it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But
Trying to think. Because like um yeah, I mean, like, I think obviously Preston like this because he will always get full resources so he will always have the money to spend for this. Um, right? Is that how that works? I forgot. I haven't played Preston in freaking forever.
well, he doesn't get the money until his turn starts, so it's
Okay, that yeah, there you go.
it's
That's
a little
the
bit worse, but he might find treacheries to test during his turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Even so, like this, so this is +7 potentially.
That's good, and you can also use this for succeed by X cards. I think that's really good.
Yeah, which is why the rogue. This is a rogue card.
Yep. Yeah, it's a rogue card. Yeah, you're right.
All right. Captivating performance. Okay, we know how this one works now. But first, let's see who can take it. Dreamers, performers, and sorcerers. Yep. Okay, so this one is here, and we've got a bunch of mystics. Agnes, Akachi, Dexter, Jim, Lola, Lucius, Luke, Marie, Patrice. Hey, you said you knew performers, and you were right.
Okay. Well, why don't you clarify for me how this works again?
All right. Here's what they've ruled. Let me read it out loud first. Reaction. After you perform 3 different types of actions in a row, exhaust captivating performance, take an additional action, which must be a different type from all other actions you've taken this turn. Types include, the stuff that you've seen before. All right. So this is actually in the FAQ of the box itself. So This isn't an email ruling or anything. They just ruled it as the 3 different types of actions in a row can be of your choosing. In other words, you can play a card, like play an asset or something, and then you can play a fight event, like Spectral Razor, and that will count as a different action. So you
Because
choose that it is a fight. It is a play also, but you are trying to. This is a very friendly reading of it being a different type. So it includes a different type is maybe a better way to put it.
Okay.
And then the third thing you can do is like you could fight on an asset, and that would be an activate.
Yep.
All right. And then the fourth thing you do, I guess the additional action would have to be something that is not one of the things that you just chose. So you could like play investigate or something like burning the oil.
Because that would be the investigate.
That would be investigate. Right.
Got it. You wouldn't be able to activate by itself because you would then require it to be like play, fight, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
but you could like activate investigate because that would be investigate.
Right. So it's like whatever you choose those things to count as, it only needs to. This is only looking at one thing.
Yeah.
Whichever thing you want to be the different one.
Okay, I see. So basically, this is the example I'm thinking about. So let's say you do 3 play actions.
Yep.
All 3 play actions are fight, evade, investigate.
Yep.
The 4th action could just be a basic play, but it could not be a play, fight, play, evade, play, investigate.
That's right.
Wait, no, it could be, right?
Oh, it could be. It could be because it's treated as play. Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
so it could be. What you couldn't do is basic evade.
Correct.
Because you already
you can because you could do fight, play, investigate.
Yeah, you'd have to treat it as you'd have to say, oh, this is a. So yes, you're right. You can do that. It's just you have to say that the 3 things you did were fight, play, investigate. Yep. And then you.
But you say that when you do this reaction. right? Not when
When
you're actually doing those actions.
correct, when you play that fourth one.
Yeah, okay. So
And
it's not like you have to preemptively say this is an evade.
no,
Okay, okay.
that's right.
That yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
Okay.
And I'm sure people are still confused. So I'll just say it again, hopefully in the least confusing way, which is that you take three different types of actions in a row, and if the card has multiple types, then you pick which one it counts for the purposes of counting things for captivating performance. So it needs to just include something you haven't done before.
Okay. So I think the way that I'm thinking about this is yeah. So let's say you do 3 actions, then you attempt like you're going to decide you want to do a fourth one. And in order to do that, you have to determine what all 4 actions that you have taken and are going to take
Mm-hmm.
are.
Yep.
And as long as all 4 of them can be different,
Yeah.
then you can do the fourth one.
Yep.
Okay.
Include an action type that you have not done. Yeah, that are different.
I don't think I personally agree with the ruling that they made, but if they put it in the FAQ, then it's in the FAQ, so I don't care.
Yeah,
So
I
there
think
you
they
go.
should write it differently, and
Yeah.
it's weird because haste works the opposite way.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite because it includes all types.
Correct.
Yeah.
I sort of understand why, because haste is trying. I mean, they're both friendly interpretations, right?
Yeah.
But haste is just trying to say, did I do this action type at all?
Yeah.
And this one is just, tracking that you did a different thing. So I think like that word different is maybe doing some heavy lifting. But yes, I'm glad that it's written in the document that you get when you buy the set, but it's a little, it is not obvious from the text.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So what do we think about this? Obviously, it is like haste. We're just getting another action.
But you need
There
to
is
do
a
three things.
stipulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird stipulation of how you get the extra action, but it is an extra action. Is that worth 3 XP and 3 cost assets?
No slot.
It's slotless. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Um,
By the way, I think it is kind of a good effect for this card because it's like you're doing all kinds of riffs on your guitar or whatever, right?
yeah. That's true. Um, Yeah, I mean, I think that ultimately what you can do is you can say like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to take 3 actions here on my turn, and then this will always be a move action." Right?
Yeah, yeah.
To be
So
like, "Okay, I'll just use it as a move."
yeah, that's probably true, even if under the other reading where you couldn't, it wasn't as friendly. That
Yeah.
like move, resource, draw probably are common
Yep.
extra things to do. So with an investigator that only gets 3 actions normally, which is
Most of these, yeah.
most of these, maybe except for Lucius or Murray,
Yeah.
who might have some other things they can get. Um, how hard do you think it is to do 3 different things on a regular turn?
Well, I mean, like I think the hard part is going to be like enabling the weird flexy bits of like, "Oh, I want to invade, fight, and investigate," and then do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um I think play and activate are going to be fairly common. So you'll basically always have those to use as one of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then maybe engage, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I personally don't think that this card is worth it just because it's a lot of hoops to be able to get value out of it, but maybe I'm just not smart enough.
I would like to try it. I've not tried the card. I think it'd be fun
Yeah.
to see if you can get through the hoops.
Yeah.
Is the payoff enough? Probably not, because like a lot of these classes get just like an easy way to get an extra action.
Yeah.
But maybe comboing with that is cool. I don't know. Maybe it encourages you to have like your Sixth Sense and your Rite of Seeking. So like one of them is the
Yeah.
play, and one of them's the activate, and one of them's the investigate.
Yeah, I always feel like there's the voice in the back of my head that it's like what this card is going to do is ultimately just give you an extra move every turn
Yeah, yeah. Is
and
it?
or extra draw, extra resource every turn. Which to be fair, giving that flexibility is good. But like there's better things you can be doing for 3 XP.
Yeah, I could see it for 2.
Yeah.
Probably most of these cards I could see for like 1 XP lefts.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Cowl of Sekhmet. And we got Believer, Chosen, Cultist, deck only. I think we've seen almost all of those traits before.
Yeah.
All right, where are you? Here we go. We have Amina, Diana, Father Mateo, Lily, Sister Mary, Stella, and Zoe. Okay. Card is a body slot item, 2 cost 3 XP to Sanity. When you enter a location, exhaust it until the end of the round. Each non-elite enemy at that location cannot engage you, and you cannot deal damage to those enemies. It's like you've played the
The phase out card, yeah.
yeah, that's the one. Ethereal
Ethereal
form.
form.
There we go.
Yep. Okay, are you ready for the hot take?
Yeah.
In these investigators, this is actually bad.
All right. Why?
Because Diana, Lily, Stella, Sister Mary, and Zoe want to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And even the other ones are, mystics, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I could see like Stella wanting this, maybe. Maybe actually, I don't know.
Mhm.
Anyway, I don't. It's bad. I think it's bad.
Yeah, I don't see it unless there's like some sort of like tech for a campaign scenario or whatever where it's like, okay, I can get through. I don't have to deal with the enemies. That's maybe okay, but mm, I don't know. I don't know if I want that
Yeah.
for 3 XP.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, that's fair. Like again, like the effect could be interesting, but you're right with those investigators, probably not.
Yeah, like if this was available to anyone that was like a dedicated clover, sure, like love it.
Give this to
But
Trish. That'd be awesome.
that would be insane. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Like ethereal form is not played that often. It could be good, but like the problem with this card is as an asset, so it really requires you to say, I want to do this multiple times per game.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, it's kind of weird, like
Solo?
so. Yeah, well, maybe solo, but also solo is the problem because you're probably just gonna draw the enemy, and therefore you have to like move into the location with the enemy, attacks you, and then you resolve this. Yeah, it's kind of
Well, that's
awkward.
a good point. Yeah, like what's happening here? You drew an enemy that goes to a different location. That doesn't happen that often.
No. Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you. I have played Dakota. I played Dakota Garofalo before. Detective, Hunter, Wayfarer, and let's check out who those people are. There's some new people. And here you are. All right, we got Joe Diamond, our boy Joe Diamond. Leo Anderson, Luke Robinson, Michael McGlenn, Monterey Jack, Roland, Tony, Trish, Ursula, Zoe. All right, what do you do? Well, while there is a creature or monster enemy at your location, you get +1 willpower, +1 combat. Exhaust Dakota. Choose an enemy at your location or a connecting location. Move to the chosen enemy's location and engage it. So you get a free move, free engage. 2/2, ally slot, 4 cost, 3 XP.
Okay, so you've played this card. I haven't played it yet, but I am planning to play Dakota in my Michael McGlenn deck because she seems really, really good.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
So I think that you need to. I think this is campaign tech.
Interesting.
If you are playing in a high number of players, so 4 players, I think, is where I played it as well.
Yep.
It's going to be generically good because you often, as a fighter, need to do this.
Yep.
Because you just don't all stick together exactly in the right spot, and this gives you that free move, which is good. The engage is fine. I played it in Zoe, where it was actually bonkers.
That seems really good. Yeah.
But to me, like the creature or monster part, I hate leaving the willpower and combat on the table. If you're not triggering, if that's not true in many of your scenarios or most of them, then it's kind of sad for your ally slot because this could have been B-Cop or something.
That's fair.
And like B-Cop kind of does this, right? It gives you like the free damage if on a whippoorwill or something. Kind of better, kind of in some ways, but
true. Although specifically for Tony Morgan and Michael, they can't take B-Cop.
They can't take B-Cop, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I think this is a very good card, and just goes a lot better if you can get the stat boost out of it. So Zoe, especially again in higher player counts, you might not actually kill all of the monsters that particular round. So the +1 willpower is cool. I don't know why it has +1 willpower to begin with. Like that seems
yeah.
All of these
really good.
Yeah, like all of these investigators are not using willpower. Like Luke, I guess, but he's not taking this. Well, maybe.
I mean, Michael has 3.
Yeah, but I mean, like in
Three
terms
base.
of a mystic that might want to use
Oh, sure.
willpower for fighting, right?
Right. Yeah, because this is purely defensive for willpower. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to make it work for that. Although,
Yeah.
again, in a higher player count, someone draws a creature, and then
Yeah,
you
and then
draw
you draw
your
treachery.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
that's
Yeah,
the plan.
yeah, yeah.
You can
So
kind of you can on the hunt your way into that kind of as well.
that's also true.
Or sorry, not on the hunt. First watch it. I mean,
Well, I mean, either one really. Someone else,
yes, yeah,
yeah.
yep,
But yes, first watch would make it work perfectly. Yeah, I think this card is good.
yep.
I played a Zoe Butterfly Swords. We played Depths of Yoth, so
Nice,
everything was a creature or monster,
nice.
and it was really good. And getting that bonus and the money for the engage, it would just felt like I never. It was safeguard, right? But like
Yeah,
it got the enemies off of everyone else, and for Zoe in particular, you get the resource too. So good card for her. Now,
good
would I
card.
play it in these other folks like Joe? Not necessarily. Leo, I can see similar to Zoe in many ways, and Michael and Tony. There's some good reasons. Like Tony's got the weakness that is aloof, right?
Olivia. This can also be good tech for Hemlock because of all the elusive enemies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go after them that
Chase
way.
after them. Yep.
Yeah, I like it. Um, so the 3 XP for cost feels okay. So like beat cop, field agent, etc. They're 2 XP, and they give
Yep.
you a limited number of free thing. This is move, a free move, and engage, and
Hmm.
it's unlimited.
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
I think it's fair.
All right, well, let's move on then. Knows the grindstone, criminal, drifter, entrepreneur. Better have Wilson, right? Don't worry, Wilson can take it.
Yes, so yes, he's in the art.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Ashcan, Skids, Alessandra, Bob, Calvin, Daniela, Finn, George is I guess Calvin's a drifter too. I guess so.
I guess so. Yeah.
Anyway, Jenny, Kaimani, Luke, Marion, Michael, Nathaniel, Silas, Tony, Wendy, Wilson, Winifred. Got a weird bunch here, but there they are.
Yeah.
During a
Very
skill test on a tool asset exhaust, knows the grindstone, you get +2 skill value for the skill test. If the skill test fails, either replenish one supply on the asset or gain one resource. What do you think?
Huh. I think that if you're using tool assets as your main way to do things, then this is basically like the tri-class cards.
Crafty.
From crafty basically, but with the other the upside of um putting having a fail safe for if you fail.
Yeah.
Which like I mean that's good. Like replenish the supply. Yeah. So does this work like I think it does with like the Darren? Wait, the Derringer's not a tool. Whoops.
Not a supply, yeah.
Okay, let's say like old keyring, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would that add it back on, and then this would also try to add it back on? I don't know how that works.
Keyring doesn't remove unless you succeed.
Right. Is there a card that removes but then you put it back?
Yes,
There's like
chainsaw.
chain. That's a tool. Yeah, you're right. So that could technically, I think,
Yeah,
get it back.
chainsaw could do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, if you're taking crafty, I think you just get this specifically for tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So the only ones who can't take crafty on this list are like Luke, Wilson, Nathaniel. It's not taking this. Who's the top?
what is crafty again? Crafty is
Tool, insight, and trick.
right. Survivor, rogue, seeker.
Seeker, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Luke,
It's Luke, Wilson, Nathaniel, Marion, yeah,
yeah, Wilson.
and Danielle.
I mean,
No,
this seems
Danielle
great.
can take it. Yeah,
It's obviously great for Wilson, I think, but
I feel like they just were like, "Oops, Wilson can't take crafty. I bet we'd better make another card."
yeah, I think basically, yeah. I think it's fine. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm not like super impressed by it, but I probably would put it in the deck that wants it, which is Wilson. I don't
Yep.
know if anyone else really needs it. I mean, yeah, if you don't have crafty, we should say the whole spiel of like not every card is going to be in the card pool forever,
Yeah.
right? So this is an alternative, but I don't think it's stronger than crafty because crafty let you pay for the items too.
That's true. And Wilson like takes care of that slightly with his ability, so he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need that part. So that's probably why they added this.
Yeah. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay. Let's move on. Sound support. I have played this one as well. I'm gonna move over a bit.
Mm.
Assistant, medic, and warden. Really cool art here. We're about to be sad with Carolyn and Vincent, but yeah, they can take it. Carolyn, Carson, Father Mateo, Hank. That's who I played it in. Lily, Mandy, Min, Nathaniel, Tommy, Vincent, and William. By the way, we haven't seen too many seekers who can take the cards we've seen so far. I don't think that's I don't know. There's like a lot of. It feels like a lot of
Yeah.
traits are repeated, but I know that's not actually true once we get through all of them. But
Yeah.
yeah, all right. So this card, going back to the card itself, 2 resources, 3 XP, limit 1 per investigator. Sound support, maybe assign damage and or horror dealt to other investigators at your location. Reaction, when your turn begins, heal 1 damage or 1 horror from sound support. Just 2 health and 2 sanity, so you can't load it up, and it kind of heals off slowly, but surely.
Yep. Well, I mean, obviously they made this for Carolyn and Vincent, because
But-
those are their traits.
But their
Right, they're
abilities,
not allies.
yeah, they're not allies, so they this ability to heal just heals, which is
Never mind. Trash.
yeah. I mean, it's still okay. Like you might
Yeah,
want
it's
something
fine.
to like put the other. I don't know. I mean, it's like Agnes, right? Like, Agnes really likes to have Peter Sylvester, even though Peter Sylvester
Yeah.
doesn't do her ability. It's just to put the other horror or damage.
Does Agnes would work with this if she could take it, right? Like she could put the horror on this. No, Agnes is specifically on her character card.
Has to be placed.
I'm
on her.
thinking about Mark Harrigan.
Right.
This would work with Mark if he could take this.
I mean, off a black market or something, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's I'm not excited by it, but it seems fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my pitch for it is I played it in Hank. And
Okay.
Hank has this ability that lets him be assigned damage or horror dealt to other investigators at your location as well. So people were disappointed when they sort of thought about the rules and like he can't take. I mean, he can take Jessica or Peter, right? And those
Yeah.
self heal, but you
But they can't assign them to them.
exactly right. So this is kind of the version that people are hoping that Jessica and Peter would be in Hank. So Hank doesn't want to take all of the damage and horror onto himself.
No.
So he needs something that he can continually heal the extra stuff off that he takes and or that other people take. So this is good, I think, for him, especially when you go to your. I mean, your resolute mode you can't heal. I think no. You can't heal off of your investigator card, but you can heal off of this. So
Correct.
It's a reasonable slotless card. That's kind of all I'll say is that it does work if you're playing that game.
What are we thinking about Tommy Muldoon taking this? Because this is something that he can dump extra damage and horror to that can like heal it so that his weakness won't discard it or whatever.
Yeah, you just have to make sure that because the timing of this is it heals at the beginning of your turn. So if you put damage or horror on this and then you draw your weakness and upkeep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's maybe, but
yeah, maybe. I'm also seeing Carson on this. It could be it could just be a support card.
Yeah.
It's a little awkward because they can only do one at a time. But it could do one and one, I guess. Yeah.
Right. So it's slow, but it does work.
Yeah.
I do feel like, well, for Hank in particular, where I liked it is that part of the game plan is to take damage and horror from other investigators anyway. So
yeah,
it just makes it so that you can spread it out just a bit more.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have the Guardian cards that do that already.
Yeah.
I can maybe see it like, so you know how Nathaniel Cho sometimes likes to run, what's it called? The arcane slot one. That cancels damage, Flesh Ward.
Yes.
Not just because it came out in his deck, but like he can often take a lot of I mean most fighters do, right? They might be in a spot where they take extra damage and horror than they thought, and I think this is a neat way for Guardians to and it's really just Nathaniel here, to absorb some of that because he doesn't have Peter, Jessica.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe.
And yeah,
Maybe.
it's not super great. It's just, but it's fine, I think.
Yeah.
Last one we'll look at today: more soak, trench armor, agency, police, veteran only. Very simple text here, but let's get a look at who can take it. It is not too many people: Dexter, Leo Anderson, Mark Harrigan, Roland Banks, Tommy again, and Trish. Cancel the first attack opportunity made against you each round. 3 health. Body slot 2 cost 3 XP again. So this is like a
I'm
bulletproof vest, but worse.
well, it has to cancel the first stack thing, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I mean, I feel like Trish would really like this if I'm crazy. Like,
No, this is the Trish card. That's weird though, right?
yeah, I mean, I'm really amused that she is walking around with this armor on as a spy. Um,
Yeah, but like the other folks here, like what what are they doing that provokes attack of opportunities?
good question. Uh,
Parallel Roland, I can see.
yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know.
Dexter too, because obviously he does have the fast play, but he can just play something and then do his fast play stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's good. Um,
Is it 3
I
XP
like
good?
maybe I like it in Mark.
Yeah.
Mark like him, anything that gives Mark more of the health soak to put damage on is good. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's weird with the investigators that have this, but for some of those investigators, I think it is really good. Um, specifically Trish, which is kind of weird, but I don't know.
Mm.
You know what they should have made this. It shouldn't have been like okay. I'm now thinking. I don't know why I didn't think it. I was like, this should be bulletproof vest, but it should be like Kevlar vest or something because
Right.
it's even better than it. Um, but I mean, I think it's good. It's just a little limited right now because of who can take it, but maybe that will just grow with time. So who knows?
All right. I mean, I think that unless you are making lots of attacks opportunity, I don't know. Like unless you're provoking those all the time, not like every round, and Trish is the one for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Then why don't you just take bulletproof vest, which costs 2, gives you 4 soak instead? I mean, I guess this is just slightly better if you don't need the health soak, but
yeah,
I don't know if these are the investigators that you can like do some interesting deck with, right? Like
yeah.
maybe parallel Roland because he does sometimes do the investigate thing and then try to use Alice Luxley or something afterwards. But
Yeah.
and it's not bad for Mark. Like you need to play a weapon or something,
Yeah, exactly.
or Leo. Okay, okay, I'll come around on it a bit. It just seems a little disappointing for a card that's in this set with a specialist tag to it.
Yeah, I think it's the one with the smallest pool. If I'm honest, I think it is the one with the smallest one.
Yeah, it looks like it to
Um,
me.
yeah, it's also funny that this is also a card that no one can play in the box, but that's fine
Hmm.
because we have Roland in here, so at least a Corset Investigator can.
That's true. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, like, I think that this one may go up in stocks,
Hmm.
potentially. We'll see.
I'd like to see it at 2 XP.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Then I so like we've got a lot of interesting things that you could take in Guardian specifically, right? At 2 XP. There's the I mean quite expensive, but there's the uh one that cancels things. The Guardian Survivor Edge of the Earth one. Uh
Oh, the
the fire
the
suit,
one that yeah. Um,
whatever it's called.
I can't remember what it's
Yeah.
called.
Like that's pretty cool and that like does what 3 and 3 or something. Um there's Hunter's armor in general. Yeah. I mean maybe there's a build that takes advantage of this more than I'm thinking of, but it's slightly underwhelming. Other than
Fair.
Trish. Play it in Trish, that seems fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, I think we need to be done by now because, like I said, an hour is a good amount of time to talk about a card and listen, or cards, and listen to us ramble on. So we're gonna call it quits here. I don't know. Like I think they're the cards like in a vacuum, like the stuff on them is pretty decent. There are some of these that I like a lot, and then sometimes I look at them, I'm like, thematically, like how did these investigators get stuck together in a group? Like even just looking at the uh, agency, police, and veteran ones, like that should be like a cohesive group, and yet it's only like what, 5 investigators?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
6.
the issue with these cards is just the fact that, in my opinion, they haven't really ever cared about the traits on the investigators,
That's right.
and they've kind of just made them up. And so now that they're actually making them important, then it's possible that future designs will maybe take these into account when it comes to trying to
Hmm.
tie those investigators to these thematically. Um, so maybe that'll help. In the same way that, I don't know, like they always felt like they had a good foundation when it came to traits on player cards
That's
and
right.
in encounter cards.
Hmm.
But they never cared about investigator cards. I feel like they literally never cared. That's not actually true, right? Because there's some stuff that has checked,
Yeah,
but
in campaigns, there's some check.
exactly.
Yeah,
But it's always been a like purely flavor. And so I think that they're just trying to like finagle them all together to be like, oh yes, like chosens and drifters, they have this like, you know, this essence to them that makes them like kind of chosen, and so we'll do stuff around that and all that stuff.
yeah,
Um, so
yeah. And for whatever reason, like it seems to me like mechanically that they've made these cards that actually very few investigators can take, and even
yeah,
fewer, by the way, once all of the investigators rotate out. They've made these cards like not that, like what else could you take in class with some of these investigators? And the
yeah,
reality is like in class there's probably still better options. So the fact that these are so restrictive is like against the whole idea of
yeah,
them being specialists because they're not
yeah.
that
And
good.
I think I'll talk more about this when we have our second video.
Sure.
But I think that ultimately, my opinion on these cards is that they were a mistake because I think they should just be class cards and or specifically multi-class cards.
Hmm.
Because I
Yes.
think that this game has already done a good job of establishing the thematics about each class,
Hmm.
that these should be able to find a home in those classes with maybe slight reworks. They don't need to rely on the investigator traits in order to do this because I think they've already done a good job
Hmm.
identifying class identities through their investigators. But that's
Yeah.
my opinion.
No, I
Um,
agree with that, and I think we can talk about this again later.
yeah,
But this is a good halfway point to talk about this because then we can see if the rest of the cards also follow the same pattern. But when you mentioned multi-class, right? Like what was the pattern there is that those cards were all a little bit worse than what you could get in either of the two classes, but it
yeah,
made up for that because more people could take them
mm,
in the quote unquote wrong class. So, um, like divination is uh, a really good card on its own, but the numbers are just a little tiny bit worse than what you could get in just the mystic spells.
yeah,
Not a lot, but it has its own benefits too. But it's trying to be like we'll give up a little bit because now all the seekers can take these too, and I don't see that happening here.
yeah. I agree.
Cool. Okay. See you next time. We'll talk about the other 12 or so cards and do some other final wrap up.
Right.